Max Gershon. This is Rocket 1025 KKCI FM, Goodland, Colby, and NWKS radio station.
With SRN News, Arnott Thomason. The White House isn't shy about trumpeting President Trump's record since Mr. Trump returned to the White House a month ago. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller says the president, within days of taking office, cut border crossings by 95%. Senate Republicans have passed a $340 billion budget plan. It includes funds for border security, energy production, and the military. The measure now goes to the House. Kash Patel to be sworn in today as FBI director. Following a Senate confirmation vote yesterday, it was a close vote, with Republicans Collins of Maine and Murkowski of Alaska voting with Democrats in an unsuccessful bid to scuttle the nomination. And after 7 terms in the U.S. Senate, Kentucky's Mitch McConnell calling it a career. He will not stand for re-election next year. On Wall Street, Dow futures down 221 points. More details, srnnews.com.
I'm Austin, but you can call me Ozman. I'm also autistic.
From Kingdom Story Company and the producers behind Jesus Revolution comes The Unbreakable Boy.
I feel like I'm failing every day.
A true story featuring Zachary Levi and Patricia Heaton about how a boy with some battles teaches his broken father how to find joy again.
I wish I could enjoy anything as much as my son enjoys everything.
This is the best day of my life!
The Unbreakable Boy, now playing. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and
Here's the latest news and information that impacts you. I'm Derek White. Layoffs are underway at Kansas City's IRS building. Impacted workers were notified to meet with their direct managers starting yesterday morning, and the union said nearly 100 people were laid off. All of the laid-off workers were probationary employees, and the cuts were part of ongoing layoffs in the federal government. The Colby Community College has once again set the standard for academic success, leading all other 19 schools in Kansas. This is the 7th time in the last 10 years that the Trojans have claimed top graduation rate for first-year students. Salina Police and the FBI are investigating a swatting case in Salina. Authorities say the incident took place Monday afternoon when the police department received a call from someone who claimed that his father shot his mother in their home. Police were suspicious of the call but went to the home where they determined no shooting had taken place. A young person who lived at the home said they were being harassed by a suspect out of state who they met online while playing the game Fortnite. The USDA is laying off employees in Kansas. KSHB reports nearly a dozen employees at the National Bio and Agro Defense Facility in Manhattan lost their jobs earlier this month. The job cuts involved probationary employees who were mainly administrative, and they are part of a nationwide reduction of the federal workforce. The Kansas Livestock Association met with U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, wanting to fix labor needs in western Kansas. Leaders in the cattle business need to be able to hire faster with less costs and for longer periods of times. No matter the size of the operation, there is a high need for migrant workers in the area, and Washington is working to adjust their procedures. Hope's Place out of Goodland will be having 2 events this Saturday. First will be their mother-son breakfast beginning 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then they will be having a father-daughter dinner and dance from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Both events will be at the Calvary Gospel Church in Goodland. Register at hopesplacegoodland.com. There will be a free pancake feed at Norton's Emmanuel Lutheran Church, beginning at 11:30 a.m., and everyone is invited to join on February 23rd. For more information on this and other stories, visit nwksradio.net.
Rocket 1025.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. A winter weather advisory continues until noon today. Chance of snow today. Otherwise, mainly sunny skies. Daytime highs approaching 25. Winds out of the south, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to around 11 tonight. Clear skies. Daytime highs approaching 49 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Dry with temperatures well above average Sunday and Monday, and highs from the upper 50s to the upper 60s. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 66 Tuesday, 54 Wednesday, and 58 on Thursday. 1 to 2 inches of snow today. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley. on this NWKS radio station. Right now, it's 9 degrees above zero.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Buy one iPhone 16 Pro Max and get one on Nextech Wireless. iPhone 16 Pro Max is powered by the A18 Pro chip and built for Apple Intelligence. Now available in 4 stunning finishes: black titanium, white titanium, natural titanium, and desert titanium. Which iPhone 16 Pro Max color will you choose? Stop by a location near you to take advantage of this amazing deal today. Nextech Wireless, connecting Kansans.
Looking for big savings on a powerful new ride? Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas has you covered. Right now, drive home a 2025 Silverado 2500 with just 3.9% financing for 60 months. Need space and style? Get $1,000 customer loyalty cash on a 2024 Chevy Suburban. Or grab a 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 Pro Diesel. Originally just over $67,000, now just over $56,000 with a huge hail discount. Swing by Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out their great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
Farmers, what do you expect from your crop insurance agent and company? Knowledge? Service? Peace of mind knowing you have the coverage you need for your operation? This is what you deserve and more. This is what you have with Rain and Hail Insurance and the girls at the insurance agency in Goodland. Now is the time to stop by the office to review and change your coverage before the March 15th deadline. Stop in and see Roxanne, Susan, and Judy at the insurance agency, located at 1020 Main in Goodland, or call 899-5011 for your peace of mind.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Give me my cane. I'll show you how to play this game.
And Max Gershon.
The Gershon build is short, but calves like this big. Big old calves.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Rocket 102.5 and streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Not this again.
Yes, this again.
Covering it all from the preps.
Costa 1.7 chucks it up for the win. It's an air ball in the Colby Eagles. Victorious in Hugoton.
To the pros.
Mahomes stepping up again, tries to throw. Light caught! Touchdown! Kansas City! Travis Kelce owning this game.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with the insurance agency, the Farmers State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Porter spinning in the lane. Oh, my goodness. Justin Porter.
It squirted out to Larkin and back to his good buddy Wierenski. Right on net. Rebound Matthews tried to pass. They score! Jake Sanderson.
Bashir. He's a putback jam with authority Valencia.
Wow. Here's Mitch Marner. High slot down low. And Bennett scores! Sam Bennett ties it for Canada. Carter sends it around. Marner waiting. Connor McDavid scores! Connor McDavid for Canada!
And good Friday morning, everybody. A snowy Friday. A squall, a snow band. Those have been the words of the day, if you ask me. Squall and snow band.
if you look out the windows, at least in Goodland right now, just dumping snow left and right. I believe it is in Colby as well. And looking at the radar, pretty much if you're in Sherman County, if you're in Thomas County, you're the ones kind of getting impacted by this. Maybe a little bit northern Wallace County, southern Cheyenne County a little bit. But, yeah, we're right in the heart of a snow squall. And trust me, if you can see out the window, if you could see out the window, you would see just a ton of snow coming down here outside. So as Max has got his Kansas City Monarchs jersey on, we're still a long ways away from baseball in these parts of the world.
Well, in these parts. And then we do got baseball today, and that's why I wore this. And I was, hoping it would bring some warm weather. And because I wasn't expecting snow. I didn't know snow was going to happen today. And I woke up, look out the window, and it's just dumping down snow. And I was like, I'm kind of tired of this. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting a little tired of this whole snow thing.
You better just get prepared, buddy, because I guarantee April comes, we're going to have some snow. I've seen it happen. I have seen it snow like this. I have seen it snow like this on my birthday, which is April 28th. I have seen it snow like this in these parts.
Yeah.
So
but I'm good, though. I'm good without that, is what I'm saying.
You better just fuck it
up. I was reminiscing last night on some pictures from Florida. And now I'm going to probably have to do that again because it's just, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with it.
Yep,
I've had enough already. So
snow has caused Fort Hays Tech Northwest to not have school today. Campus is closed today there at Fort Hays Tech Northwest. And of course, Goodland High and Goodland USD 352, they are having a 2-hour late start today. So they will push back. Heard from Raleigh and have read that around 9 o'clock that this will kind of start to go away and get everything cleaned off. So, but tell you what, for the last couple of hours, for about a 4 or 5 hour span, it's going to get dumped on with some snow up here. And like I said, just really Sherman County and Thomas County, the ones just really getting hammered at this point. So I think if you get out of this area, I don't think it's really that bad anywhere else. So just right where we are here this morning. But hope everyone had a great night last night. Hope everyone watched lots of hockey. Boy, the Four Nations face-off was fantastic. Canada winning in overtime there. Did you happen to watch any of that?
Oh, yeah. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it completely. It was I'll be fascinated to see what the ratings were. I'm guessing the ratings are off the wall.
Well, I mean, to start, I thought ESPN's production of the pregame and all that was fantastic. They kind of muted the anthem sound effect, the crowd
booing?
noise,
The
crowd
booing?
noise.
Oh, you can hear it. You can still hear it.
But they turned it down.
Why? You know for a fact it was louder?
Well, from videos on Twitter, you can tell they turned it down a lot.
Booing of the Canadian national anthem. Hey.
It was kind of like
What did you expect was going to happen? I mean, they even put in the last video, like, please be respectful. I mean, what did you expect was going to happen? They were, of course, going to go back and do
I feel bad for the girl that probably signed up to do this national anthem before all this happened. And now she's like, well, now I'm going to be booed while I'm singing the national anthem.
That's not her, though. You're just your nation.
Well, I know. It's still, that's got to be a little awkward. And then, I thought all the pregame stuff I was getting amped up for it. And I was like, oh, this is like, now it's hockey. Now I got to watch hockey for this to be decided, which was, I don't know. I was like amped up, like America. Then it was like, oh, it's hockey. But
oh, come on. It was really good. I mean,
it was great at the end. Hockey is so fun to watch at the end of games.
It is. I mean,
I just don't.
I feel like it can be over.
I feel like when I watch hockey, I feel like the stereotypical like girlfriend that doesn't know anything about football that is watching and like asking a bunch of questions and stuff like that. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I try to follow the puck. I don't really know what's illegal, what's legal. I know what a goal is. I know the name. I mean, I know some of the names though. I mean, obviously Connor McDavid with the game winner is like the most talented hockey player ever. And it only makes sense that he was able to score that game winner. But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, but it had me. I'll tell you what, it had me. The last like minute of regulation and overtime, like my heart was beating. It would like drop when there would be close to a goal. I mean, it was fun. It was fun. And I mean, job well done by the NHL. Sucks that America lost, but
even if USA lost, which stings for us and all that. But I mean, whoever won it, this was a massive win. I mean, they continue to talk about on the telecast how they really didn't think that this was going to have the impact that it has had.
Right.
I mean, this is so big, and how big it has been. Outside of Olympic years, I'm curious if they're going to do it every single year. I really am curious.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's oversaturating it or not. I don't know. But I'm telling you, I believe the NHL and whoever was in charge of on is just like blown away. And they're going to be absolutely blown away by the numbers. I
Yeah.
bet you the television numbers when they come out in a couple days are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I bet you they're nuts. I mean, ticket prices for that event were going as high as the Super Bowl. There were $1,200 tickets. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, those numbers aren't going to carry back to the regular season.
No, I mean, there was an amazing report from Emily Kaplan, who was on the sidelines.
Yeah.
She goes, there's players playing tonight that when they get back to the regular season here next week, they're not going to play because they're hurt, but they're playing tonight because they want to play for their country. Well, that is amazing.
Yeah. You got to think like the level, it's like you're going down a level from playing there to now we're back to the regular season.
Kind of.
So that'll be interesting as well. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Great job. Just
the other thing I think that made it pretty cool, Max, was the fact that it wasn't like a series. It wasn't like a best of 3. It was one game, winner take all.
Yeah.
You got to win. And there was a lot of, from the U.S. perspective, there was a lot of very sad, long faces, when they lost.
Oh, yeah.
And understandably so. But that was a grand slam from the NHL.
It was also so interesting to see, like, Boston Bruins players on Canada, like, being booed. It's like this is their home crowd that they play in every game or home game, and now they're like the enemy in the same stadium, and then they're going to go back to being cheered the next week. It's just such a interesting and unique scenario that you don't see ever. So there was just a lot of cool storylines and a lot of cool. Like I said, I don't know hockey, and I didn't have to know hockey to really enjoy it. And I found myself like on the edge of my seat at the end of that game.
See, and I think the NHL is after people like you. They want to attract new fans. They want, now I'm not saying that you're going to sit down and watch every hockey game, but you may find yourself on a slow night tuning in and watching some hockey.
And I have that Kraken sweater I wear.
Yeah, the Kraken.
They're my team technically, but I will say this, it's like I think the NHL is a fantastic league, and they do a lot of real good things really well. And it's a much better league than the NBA right now. But what I will say is, like, why a lot of people will watch basketball, watch the NBA still over the NHL, is because it's basketball over hockey. And most people are going to rather watch basketball than hockey. And even if the NHL is a much better league than the NBA is right now, it's still hockey, and not a lot of people will watch hockey over basketball. And that's just an interesting thing. But they did a unbelievable job with this Four Nations face-off, and I'm just interested. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it continues to grow over the next few years. If they do it every year, I wouldn't do it every year necessarily.
I think the original plan is every 2 years.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Get a year off, and then because it amps it up. It really amps it up, and people enjoy it more if it's not every year.
Yeah, that's why I say don't oversaturate it.
Yeah, definitely.
They were talking to the telecast, and I'll be fascinated to see if this bill. They kind of compared it to the amount of people that they've drawn in to watch this. How much will the game grow in the future because of this tournament that they've had? People tuning in and watching it.
Right.
Kids wanting to play hockey maybe instead of basketball or something along those lines. And I don't know. We'll find out more. That's a ways off. But once again, congratulations to the NHL and hockey in general. They had a great couple of weeks there. I mean, just great. They couldn't have. I know for a fact they didn't plan on it being that good, and it turned out being great.
Yeah.
So congratulations to them. All right, moving on. We got lots to get to today. I want to talk about the most important stat in basketball. We're going to get to that coming up in segment 2. I think I don't know. I find it to be a fascinating conversation coming up in segment 2, especially. And then segment 3, we'll look into some college basketball and talk some baseball in segment 3 and into the walk-off. We cannot forget I know we're going to talk some high school hoops are coming up, but we cannot forget about regional wrestling today and tomorrow. Regional wrestling is going on today and tomorrow for the boys. It's postseason wrestling. It's humongous. There's in 4A and 3 through 1A, you have to finish in the top 4 places in order to qualify for the state tournament. So you got to finish top 4. For today, you've got 4A schools. Colby and Goodland will be in Abilene for 4A regionals, and then area 3 through 1A schools making their way down south to Cimarron today and tomorrow for wrestling there. And once again, wrestlers must place top 4 in their respective weight classes or to qualify for state. And I just quickly wanted to run through and give some shout outs here. I mean, if you look at the 3 through 1A boys rankings, this is not a surprise. I mean, Hoxie remains at number 1 spot, and they've been there for the last handful of years. But if you want to know why they're at the number 1 spot, and Norton, who's just kind of on the outskirts of our listening area, they're number 2, having a great run. Hill City's a top 10 ranked team. So is Phillipsburg. Some really good area teams are top 10 ranked squads. But the reason why Hoxie is number 1, if you want to know why, it would be because they have 5 number 1 ranked wrestlers. Ian Giancola at 120. And then they have, I think it's Edson Moreno at 150. And then 165, 175, 190. That spot right there, all controlled by Hoxie. Duncan Bell, Easton Nicholson, and Sam Watkins. And there are other Hoxie wrestlers, just kind of spread around the region. At this point, from around the region, you see other Hoxie guys. Oakley's Carter, I think it's Creer is how you say his name. It's either Creer or Cryer, but I think it's Creer. He's number 1 at 138. So there's some good area wrestlers that are number 1 or ranked in the top 5 or 6 that going into 3-2-1A wrestling. And the same thing for 4A. Colby is sprinkled throughout the 4A rankings. They're actually ranked number 6 in the 4A rankings going into this upcoming weekend. They are led by their 113-pounder Ryder Dempewolf, who is number 1 ranked in 113. And then they've got some other really good wrestlers sprinkled throughout, whether it's Simon Salcido at 126 there at 4th, or Talon Warwick at 138, sitting there in 5th. Eric Schrader at 150 in 5th. And there's other guys sprinkled in there as well. Goodland's Logan Franz, or Dawson DeGood is at 165. He's number 6. Logan Franz for Goodland is number 6 at 190. I believe he's the only Cowboy that's ranked. But there's some, like I said, some really good wrestlers in 4A. Of course, very, very competitive with teams like Rose Hill and Abilene and Andale. Of course, Scott City's in there as well, and they're very good. They're a top 10 team, number 8. And so a real quick shout out to regional wrestlers, and good luck to all the guys out there competing this weekend at regional wrestling, whether it's in Abilene for 4A or 3-2-1A happening down in our region, at least for Cimarron. So lots of great wrestlers, and I expect a lot, like the girls, to have lots of different guys filling in the spots there at state, which once again, with there being 4 regionals in 4A and 3-1A, that means that you have to finish top 4 in your respected site in your weight class. You got to finish either 1st through 4th to make it to state. Now, at girls, it was different. You had to finish in the top 8 because there's only 2 regionals. Boys, there's 4. There's 4 that go from each spot, so you got to finish in the top 4. So the postseason wrestling begins today and rolls through Saturday in Abilene and Cimarron for our area wrestlers. Good luck, guys. And also, once again, yeah, there we go. I'll just wrap it up on that when it comes to wrestling. So regional wrestling today and tomorrow. Very, very big. High school hoops tonight. The regular season comes to a close. I think there's some big storylines, particularly for Goodland and Colby going into tonight. First and foremost, we'll start first with Colby. Senior night tonight for the Eagles. Max is going to have a massively long pregame show. So you'll want to make sure that you pack a lunch before you tune in, because he's going to have a lot of information and interviews going your way. But yeah, he's got a long pregame show tonight, so you want to tune in. To me, the biggest storyline is the Colby girls. They're trying to go unbeaten in GWAC games. I think that's the biggest storyline. But you could maybe throw in a little bit of a story for the Colby boys. You know, if they're able to find a way to get a win tonight over Hugoton, they could pretty much lock up the 7s, finishing in the 7th spot of the regional standings. They'd be in 7th. If they don't, they might tie for 7th, and then it comes, I think, down to a coin flip between them and Southwestern Heights. And that could change what brackets you're going in and who you're going to face. That could change a lot. So we'll see and maybe it would be beneficial. I don't know. It all depends on how it all shakes out tonight. But Colby boys, once again, trying to hold on to that 7th spot.
Yeah, well, first off, yeah, we have a long pregame show, special senior night pregame show. First, you'll hear from Coach Stanford of Colby Community College boys basketball, and then you'll hear from Coach Yancey Walker from our interview earlier this week on the Morning Blitz, and then it's all the seniors we had in the station this week to talk senior night stuff. So good stuff, and make sure to tune into 100.3 The Ride tonight. But yeah, Lady Eagles with a chance to be the first 12-0 GWAC team since they moved to playing twice a year with every team, and that would be the best you can do in the GWAC. So they'll be the first, and they'll be tied, and as long as there's only 12 GWAC games played, they'll be the top. So that's a lot of history that they could complete tonight. And then the boys going up against Hugoton. That was my favorite game of the year when they went down to Hugoton and won. Braden Fawcett, a game winner. Jay Acosta had 44 on like I think 7 or 8 threes for them in that crazy game down at Hugoton. So I'm really excited for that one on the ladder of tonight's doubleheader. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time tonight. So what I heard is, and correct me if I'm just completely off, but I was talking to some of the players, and if they win, I believe that they will get a home game in round 1 because of seeding if they win tonight. Is that a possibility?
Let me pull up the standing. I believe that is going to be because
okay.
Once again, and I could be wrong on this, and Marty Lehman, athletic director for Goodland, is probably listening, and he can certainly text me and tell me if I'm wrong because I trust him. He's a GOAT AD, and he knows all the stuff that I definitely do not. But I believe, if I am not mistaken, so the brackets, so there's 16 teams in each sub-state, each region, I should say, and those 16 teams will be broken down into 2 brackets. Now, I believe, like, so if we pull up the boys 3A bracket, we'll just do this way. So Lakin is currently the number 1 right now in the standings with an 18-1 record. They're going to be the 1 seed in one bracket. Goodland will be the 1 seed in another bracket. And then you kind of go back and forth. Holcomb will be the 2 in the Lakin bracket. Morton's the 2 in the Goodland bracket. Scott City's the 3 in the Lakin bracket. Beloit's the 3 in the Goodland bracket. Colby is the 4 in the Lakin bracket.
Right.
I could be wrong. I don't want to say
that would make sense.
I believe that's how that works. So yes, I believe they're going to be the home in the first round no matter what. I believe.
Okay. Well, that could be true, but I also heard that if they win, that they will be here for round 1, and then obviously they probably have to travel round 2. But if they lose, then it might be more up in the air. I'm not sure, but
I think if they lose, because Southwestern Heights has an 11-9 record. If Colby were to lose, that means that they're 11-9, and I believe it comes down to a coin flip because they didn't play each other. So then it's a coin flip on who gets the higher seed.
Would it matter conference record?
I know, because they're not in the same league. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it comes down to a coin flip. I really do. If they haven't played each other, then it comes down to a coin flip and you have the same record. Coin flip.
Does our Goodland AD know about?
I have not gotten anything
from
Maureen,
that in. Okay.
But I believe that's how that goes. I believe it comes to a coin flip.
Okay.
If they're tied and they haven't played each other.
Okay. Well, we'll see. It's gonna again. It was my favorite game. You hear the clip in the intro this morning and some other mornings as well from that game. But that was my favorite game of the year. So I would expect a similar, close, tightly played basketball game tonight with a lot of scoring. So it's gonna be fun.
I know the thing that is kind of interesting, and our listener, Andy, chimes in, FE Bank text line 785-899-2222. If the one thing that Andy stood out and told to me about, he said, he goes, if the bracket holds as it is right now, if it were to hold right now as it is, if Colby were to win tonight, and then I think they'd be in the same bracket as Goodland. And then if they were to win in the first round, they'd play each other in the semifinals.
Oh, gosh.
So it would happen
again for what, the fifth
time this year. Hey, this is what happens. I tell you, it's happened before. I know it happened in the girls a lot the previous few years. Happened a lot. But yeah, I could be wrong on that, but I feel pretty good about that statement, that's how that all kind of lays out.
Okay.
So we'll see. So they're like I said, a win, a loss.
And the girls have already wrapped up the 1 seed in their sub.
Yeah, they're going to be a number 1 seed in one of the 2 brackets. Yes, they will not have to leave home until the championship game,
which is great.
So they will get to be home at this point in time. So those are the big storylines, I think, for Colby.
Yes.
Goodland tonight, I think there are bigger storylines down south in Holcomb. First and foremost, the Cowboys trying to win their first ever GWAC title in boys basketball. They've never done it. This is a league that I think it started in 2010, 2011 is when this league started. The GWAC did. They got out of the Northwest Kansas League and they started the GWAC. And so it's been, almost 15 years, and the Cowboys have never won a GWAC title in basketball. And so there is a chance for them to do that tonight with a win. Now, if they were to have found a way to have beaten Holcomb at home, then they would have at least a share of it locked up already. But because Holcomb beat them and Holcomb only has 2 league losses and Goodland has 1, there's a chance that Holcomb could beat Goodland, sweep them, and then take home the league title tonight. So the league title is on the line tonight for the boys' side. And so this is a huge game for the Cowboys. They're going to a place where they struggled for a long time down against Holcomb and down in Holcomb. Not until just recently last year, the last couple of years have they found a way to get it done down at Holcomb. And hopefully that trend will continue tonight. I mean, as I've said before, the postseason kind of began on Monday, and you're playing these really, really good teams night in, night out. And here's another one tonight in Holcomb. It will be a very difficult task to go down to Holcomb and beat them, but not an impossible task. But I would think that the Cowboys will be locked in, ready to go, knowing what's on the line. There's a chance for history. And I talk about this a lot on this show. History. Doing something that's never been done. That's what it is about tonight for the Goodland Cowboy basketball team. Getting a win tonight means you secure yourself a GWAC title. No Goodland basketball program has ever done that. Yes, they've won Northwest Kansas League titles. They've never won a GWAC title. So tonight, it's about making history for the Goodland Cowboys down at Holcomb, if they can find a way to get a win against a very good Holcomb team. And then on the other side of things, the Cowgirls have a lot to play for as well. If the Cowgirls can find a way to beat Holcomb tonight, they would tie for second in the GWAC standings. And I really do believe that would be a real feather in the cap for Bill Bierman and his girls to finish second. Yes, Colby wins the league, and they deserved it. They played great all season long. But for Goodland to find a way, after graduating consecutively 2 years, great classes of athletes, no matter if it's Telexa Weeder or Lindsay Cure and Jaxie Miller and Haley Bierman and Haley Blocklinger, all these great players that have gone on and graduated, and now you're kind of starting over with a newer group of girls. To go and finish second in this league, which is a daunting league, as we know, because we cover it every single night, that would be a real feather in the cap for Bill Bierman and for his Cowgirls. And so I know that they're going to try really hard tonight to knock off a Holcomb team who is really good in their own right. They've got one of the best shooters in the league in Hallie Jones, and they're a team that can really fill it up, can Holcomb, if they get going. So that's I think there's 2 very big games tonight down in Holcomb as the Cowboys go down there to take on the Longhorns and Lady Longhorns. So like I said, Cowboys trying to win their first ever GWAC title in basketball, and the Cowgirls trying to beat Holcomb to finish in a tie for second, which once again will be a really big deal for them. So big games tonight in the GWAC for sure. Also, wanted to get to some other area games this weekend. You've got Tri-Plains Brewster hosting Wheatland Grinnell. Oakley's going to host Cheylin. Quinter hosts Decatur Community. Wallace County hosts Stanton County. Hoxie's going to take on Phillipsburg. Rollins County visits Dighton, and St. Francis at Greeley County. Lots of senior nights tonight as it is the regular season finale for most teams. There are a couple of teams that might play again on Tuesday, but most of the regular season is done after tonight.
I know Scott City played yesterday.
Yes, they played Hugoton last night in a makeup game.
So I could not remember if it was Hugoton or Holcomb. So Hugoton is coming off of not even a day of rest.
All right, the mess of the boss is in. Marty Lehman. He texted in. You guys are correct in saying that if a team does not play each other, you have a tie record. You do a coin flip to decide the higher seed. Thank you, Marty. Thank you,
Coin
Marty.
flip. All right,
that's how it works. Same record. You didn't play each other. Coin flip. Boom. So if you're Colby, you can control your own destiny with a win.
Right.
If you don't win, then it comes down to a coin flip.
Up to the toss.
But honestly, I think you're going to be a 4 seed no matter what. It just depends on what bracket you're going to be in.
Okay.
I think that's what that means. If I'm reading the bracket correctly. So yeah, I think it will be the way it is. So yeah, we'll see how it all stacks up, but I think it should be very interesting how it all goes out, finishes up tonight, and we'll see brackets by the weekend at this point in time. Hopefully they get the games in. I did see while we were having this conversation that Goodland has now canceled school for the day because of the snow squall.
Really?
It's still dumping snow, and so no school now.
Colby?
No, looks like Colby's still going, at least according to the trustee Christina at NWKSradio.net and the closing cancellations page. So USD 352 Goodland, no school today at this point in time. So we'll see Once again, they say the snow is supposed to let up here in the next hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah, I'll believe when I see it.
And we'll see what happens there. Anyway, there you go. Some high school basketball from looking ahead to this week. And like I said, lots on the line here on this Friday night. Okay, we're going to get to a timeout. We'll come back. We're going to dive into a topic question I wanted to present earlier this week. Didn't have time for it. But what is the most important stat in basketball? In today's basketball, what is the most important stat? I'm fascinated to hear what you have to say, Max, what other people have to say. We'll have that next after the break. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
I'm Mason Jackson with the Oakley FFA chapter.
I'm Elizabeth Beckman, and I'm the historian of the Oakley FFA chapter.
National FFA Week is here.
Do you think FFA is just cows, plows, and overalls? Think again. FFA is leadership, travel, competition, and lifelong friendships.
Want to make friends, learn new skills, and have fun? FFA is for you.
Whether you're into science, mechanics, business, or just looking for a great time, FFA has something for you. Celebrate National FFA Week and see why you should be part of this amazing organization.
Find out more today.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Friday, February 21st. And on the overnights last night, March corn unchanged at $4.98, May unchanged at $5.12 3/4, July down 1/4 cent at $5.16 1/2, September down 1/4 cent at $4.82 1/4. March beans down 1 1/4 last night at $10.44 1/4, May down 1/4 cent at $10.62 3/4, July down 1/4 at $10.77 1/2, August beans down a cent at $10.74 1/4. Chicago wheat, the March contract higher 6 1/4 on the overnights at $5.91 3/4, May up 6 1/4 at $6.06 1/2, July up 5 3/4 at $6.19 3/4, September up 5 1/2 at $6.34 1/4. Kansas City wheat, the March contract higher 5 3/4 at $6.13 1/4, May up 5 3/4 at $6.25 3/4, July up 5 1/4 at $6.37 1/4, September up 5 1/2 at $6.51. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down $260 at 44,008. The S&P up $3, 6,139. The Nasdaq up 84 at 22,225. Crude oil down 39 cents a barrel at 72.18. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call, John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Pluto, Jared Law, or Charlie Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Kansas farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlKansas.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Kansas farmers.
Night of Country Legend, featuring the frontman of country, Larry Stewart, formerly of Restless Heart. Richie McDonald, formerly of Lone Star. And Tim Rushlow, formerly of Little Texas. Frontman of Country, live at the Colby Event Center, Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at nwksradio.net.
From the locker room to your morning commute, it's all sports, all the time.
That's what I'm talking about. Sport!
On the Morning Blitz.
So what usually happens during the break is I get a bunch of text messages that come flying in, and I kind of have to just kind of go through them as I can. By the way, I did get a message during the break that no school in Colby today, but it was planned. So there you go. No school today, Max, in Colby. So
can they still play basketball?
There's another question from a listener wondering if schools cancel, we still have games. I will say this. They will hold off as long as they can.
I didn't know. I just knew that when school canceled, I thought that also canceled like all athletic stuff.
Like I said, I don't.
Maybe that was just back home. I don't know.
I know that I know one time when I was in school, they canceled school, but we still played we still had the basketball game we were on the road. I remember that happening one time. So once again, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the games tonight. I've not seen anything reported on games at this point in time. But anyway, I wanted to get to one more thought. So, Goodland High School volleyball coach Angie Brumbaugh, she knows a lot. She's very smart, way smarter than me. She texted me the basketball seating for how it all works. So I was wrong on the seating. It does not go like this. And I don't know, unless you were in a meeting, I don't know how you would know this. But the sub-state seeding, so the number 1 seed, well, this is so the teams that are in the sub-state 1, which would be the number 1 seed, which is what Lakin is in the boys example that we used. Teams that finish in the 1 spot, 4, 5, 8, 9, 12, 13, 16. That's in 1. And then sub-state 2, you've got 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 14, 15. That's in the second bracket. So it's not alternating. And by the way, there's so many games we play. There's still one more game left to be played tonight, and there's so many teams log jammed at 15-4. Holcomb's there, Norton's there, Scott is there. And those teams all play tonight. And if they were to win or lose, that could shake up the bracket as we sit here right now. So we are not going to know what the bracket looks like until after these games are played, whether that's tonight, tomorrow, or whenever.
My head hurts. My head hurts thinking about all this stuff now.
Once again, I just choose to not look at a bracket until the bracket actually comes out. Just don't even worry about it. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Well, I think the biggest thing is you want to be in the top half of the standings so that you at least get a home game to start things out. I think that's how you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, let's just hope they can get these games and hopefully it clears out.
Now, once again, it's snowing just as hard as it was when I got into the studio this morning. So it is not.
What did Raleigh say, 9?
You thought 9 o'clock Mountain, 10 o'clock Central Time. So we still got about an hour.
We got an hour.
Hour or so. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this good old snow squall. But it's kind of funny on the radar. It's just kind of sitting and spinning in the same spot.
Of course it is. Right? Why wouldn't it just sit?
Max, it's your fault because you love snow so much.
I think snow is beautiful to look at. It is not fun to drive in, and it's not fun to, especially when it's this cold too. Terrible mix. And the roads were just getting better yesterday. They were finally getting better. It was a little sunnier and it was starting to go away. And now we're just getting pounded again. So
we've already got people chiming in the EpiBank text line about basketball stats, and I love it. So segment 2. Segment 2 today. And if you want to chime in on the EpiBank text line, 785-899-2222, we'd love to hear from you. What is the most important stat in basketball? So, and I guess I was thinking about this because we're coming up on NCAA tournament time. And you're going to be filling out your brackets. And, of course, you're going to be looking at, this team, how they beat this team. And this team, how can this team beat this team? What is the most important stat in basketball here in the year of 2025, in your opinion?
I need you to start.
You don't think you have...
I have thoughts.
I'm going to start with our...
You start, please.
No-name texter. So texter chiming in doesn't have a name, but no-name texter. Number of three-point shots made is number 1, and offensive rebounds is number 2, according to this texter.
I think offensive rebound was going to be one of mine. Definitely.
I believe that in today's game of basketball, I believe the number 1 important stat is three-point shooting efficiency.
Yeah.
I believe it is the number 1 most important stat. Now, do I like it that it's that? No, I don't. But it is. That is the truth. If you're going to go into the tournament, and once again, I'm speaking from the NCAA tournament. If you're going to go into the tournament, and honestly, at the collegiate level, high school level is a little bit different, but honestly, I think it's across all of basketball. If you go into a postseason and you can't make a decent amount of three-point shots, so it's three-point shooting efficiency, and I'm going to say it's both on offense and defense. How well do you shoot the 3, and how well do you defend the 3? I think those are the most important stats when it comes to basketball.
Yeah.
Look, rebounding is huge. Offensive rebounding is huge. I will not disagree with that statement. I think that is big. And with three-point misses come long rebounds, and how do you rebound those defensively and offensively is very big. But I believe that the biggest stat in today's basketball is three-point shooting. If you are a team that can knock down over 30 to 35% of your threes on the season and do it on a consistent basis, you're going to be very, very difficult to stop. And if you can defend teams and hold them under there, I think that's the biggest thing.
We've got a comment coming in from Facebook, Mr. Sean Curry saying assist to turnover ratio. That's not a bad one either.
Nope,
That's
I'm not
a bad one
disagreeing
either.
on that.
KU has got. I don't know for a fact, but I can almost guarantee that KU does not have a good assist to turnover ratio this season. But yeah, I was gonna say offensive rebounding as well as EFG, which is just a field goal efficiency. That's just. I think that's if you're scoring at a high rate and you're shooting at a high rate, I think that's a pretty important stat. But I really offensive rebound can change the entire game, especially in college basketball. How many games do you watch in college basketball that is decided by second chance points? It's almost all of them. There's so many games decided by offensive rebounding. I think that's got to be up there. If you want an effort stat, we talked about rebounding being an effort stat. That's the number one effort stat right there. Offensive rebounding, 100%.
Brian texting in on the text line. I've got to disagree. Teams that go inside, you look at any team that gets the ball or that gets down a little ways and they start working the ball inside, that's when they come back. Once you're up big, yes, you can make threes, you can seal a game, but you win games on the inside. KU is a great example. When they stand out there and they shoot the three, they lose. When they take the ball inside and go to work, they win. Brian, I'm not going to say that I don't like your thought, but here's the thing. Threes count more than twos. Now, you have to be good. Here's the thing. You have to be able to make threes. That's why I'm saying three-point shooting efficiency. If you shoot a lot of threes but don't make them, you're awful. You're not going to have any chances of winning. It's way down. If you shoot a lot of threes and you make a decent amount, like I said, if you've got a team that knocks in 35 to 40% of their threes, guess what? It is going to be very difficult to beat that team unless you can match them 3 for 3 because threes count more than twos, obviously. So that's why I am on this horse of just, I have watched, like everyone, and this is just my life, but I watch Nebraska basketball. And I'm telling you right now, if Nebraska basketball makes the tournament, I feel very confident they are going to get whooped in the first round. Why? Because they don't make threes at a high enough clip and they do not defend the three worth a darn. They believe in defending the post and preventing easy layups, which I don't disagree with them there. But in today's basketball, a lot of teams, and particularly every team has at least got 2 to 3 guys that can knock down threes at a pretty good clip. And I would say if you're a team that doesn't knock down threes at a pretty good clip or have that kind of stat, you're really going to struggle to be elite in basketball. I think that's the case.
This is interesting. This is from statsbywill.com. I looked up the most important. I wanted to see some numbers.
What a website. What does Will have to say?
Well, Will has got some facts, and this is not opinion based because this is numbers, and I like numbers. In 2020 and 2021, when this article came out, I guess 1,708 teams won both the EFG, which is field goal efficiency, and the turnover percentage battle in a given game. Those teams went 1,602 and 106, which is a 93.8% win percentage. No other combination of stats produced a higher win rate that extreme. So those two stats combined, if you have a high field goal efficiency and you're winning the turnover battle, you're almost guaranteed to win the basketball game. So those are two big ones right there. Turnover percentage, which is basically how they determine who wins the turnover battle besides just the number of turnovers, but and field goal efficiency percentage. So those are two to look at right there.
Well, I know people who are really into college basketball will go to Ken Palm and say,
Right.
well, the last however many, I think it's 10 to 15 national champions have finished in the top 10 in both offensive or adjusted offensive efficiency
Right.
and defensive adjusted defensive efficiency. So you got to finish in the top. I think it's top 20 actually is
Yeah.
where you have to finish in there. And so once again, if you're looking for the college basketball, so Duke would be like number 2 in offensive efficiency, number 4 in defense. Houston is a top 10 team in offense and a top 3 team in defense. Believe it or not, Kansas is actually a top 10 team in defensive efficiency, believe it or not. Which proves my point because Kansas is not even anywhere near the top 50 in offense. So once again, they're great defensively, but offensively, they're not good. And look at them. They're not really having that great success. Once again, this is why it's such a fun topic to debate and to have people chime in on because everyone has an opinion. Larry, who I always trust Larry when it comes to basketball. He goes back to the old saying, you win by the 3 or you die by the 3. And that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
You can win by the 3 and you can die by it. Let's see. More people chiming in. One says rebounds on both ends, 3-point efficiency, and free throws. Free throws are huge. I will give you that, especially in the tournament. Because
Free throws
you got to make your free throws.
Free throws become huge when you miss them.
Oh, well,
that's how I view
thing,
free
isn't it?
throws.
I mean, if you make them or you miss them, it's huge.
I know, but you don't notice them until they're missed a lot of the times.
No, I think you do notice, because if you make them and you keep yourself well, how many scenarios do you see where, you're up by 1, you get fouled, you got to go to the line and make 2 so that you can keep it a 3-point game. So that way, if they hit a 3, you're not getting beat at the buzzer.
Well, no, I get that. I'm just saying there's not a lot of games you look back at and say, we won that game because we made our free throws. It's more of the time you look back, we lost that game because we missed our free throws, is all I'm saying. Eric Connor says 100% of all games are decided by who scores the most points. That's true.
Coach Connor.
True. How do you manage to score the most is up to each team and their strengths.
Yeah,
he's not wrong.
Scores the most. Well, yeah, I get it. Scoring
if your number is higher than the other team, you're going to win the game.
I'm not.
So maybe points is the most important stat.
I mean, of course it is. Obviously,
yeah.
Obviously, who scores the most points? That's Cap. Thank you, Coach Connor. Appreciate that. But like I said, I'm going to stick to my guns. I believe, especially in the tournament scenario and the college, if you can't make threes and you can't defend the 3, you're really going to struggle, because pretty much a lot of teams can make that. But I am not going to sit back and diss rebounding, because that's huge. And like you mentioned, second chance points are huge. Free throws are humongous in the tournament. I'll agree with people there. So like I said, I'm not going to disagree on a lot of that stuff. But if I'm going to sit on a stats in today's basketball, I mean, it wasn't this way back in 1970 or 1960. Obviously, never 3-point line. Heck, it wasn't even that big probably back in maybe the 90s. But now, because everybody and their dog wants to shoot 3-pointers.
It wasn't that big in the 2000s even.
Yeah, you're right. And so it was about driving to the bucket and finishing. Now, if you're an elite 3-point shooting team, you are very, very difficult to stop.
You blame that on Steph Curry?
I think, well, I'm not blaming it on Steph, but I would say he is definitely the starting point of it. When you become that guy who became he changed the game of basketball. Steph Curry totally did.
More than anyone, in my opinion.
Yes, I would agree. Totally would agree on that.
More than
totally
anyone.
would agree.
And I love Steph. I
don't have anything against him. I really don't. I think he's a great person, all that stuff.
This is an argument for another time, but do you think he's the greatest point guard of all time?
No.
Or would you put Magic?
No.
Yeah, I think he is the
not point guard. I know he plays point, but to me, that's not what the point guard is.
I guess
he's a great 3-point shooter, but to me, point guards are guys who are, leading your team. Of course, they're going to get their points, but they're also looking to get their others involved. And I'm not saying Steph doesn't do that, but I guess there's other ones before that.
I mean, it depends.
John Stockton would be up there.
A lot of people say Magic. A lot of people say it's Magic and Steph.
Magic Johnson is good, but watch Magic Johnson. He was great getting his teammates involved.
Yeah. Well, it just, I don't know. If you want that one definition, that's again another argument for another time. But if you want that one definition, then yeah, I guess Steph wouldn't be. But in my mind, he is the greatest player to ever play the point guard position. He's listed as a point guard. He is a point guard. In my mind, he's the greatest to ever do it. But
Hunter Vaughn is in that list for me. I'm just joking.
Right.
People would say that would be true because I've got a man crush on Hunter Vaughn. I just love how he plays the point guard spot. But no, like I said, I think
he chucks up some threes.
Once again, as a point guard, you need to be able to make threes. In today's basketball, you have to be able to make threes if you're a point guard. You have to be able to handle the basketball at an elite level, knock down threes at a consistent level, get your team into the right offense and stuff, be able to set up press breaks, all that stuff. You've got to be what they call a floor general. You got to be a floor general. And that means leading your team. And that means, I think to make it the biggest thing is, how do you get others involved? How do you hit guys on backdoor cuts? How do you drive? How do you do pick and roll? All that stuff. And then you have to have the ability to knock down threes. You can't be a point guard that doesn't draw the defense away from the basket. You have to be able to knock down a three at a semi-consistent rate.
Right.
I believe that.
No, I agree.
Anyway, all right, we're up against the clock. We'll get to our final break, come back and wrap the show with some college basketball and a little bit of baseball as well next here in the Morning Blitz.
At FNB Bank, we know family comes first. Whether you're opening a savings account for your kids, buying a new home, or planning for the future, we're here to help every step of the way. With personalized service and flexible options, we make banking easy for your growing family. FNB Bank, serving families, strengthening communities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out the great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
Big savings are waiting at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get a 2025 GMC Sierra 2500 with 4.9% financing for 60 months, or drive off in a 25 GMC Sierra 1500 with $2,750 in rebates or 2.9% financing for 48 months. Plus, don't miss your chance to save big on their last hail vehicle, a 24 GMC Sierra 2500 Pro Diesel, originally just over $67,000, now just over $56,000. Deals this good won't last. Hurry to Hurl Chevrolet GMC today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
Rip floor now, and it needs replaced. Who you gonna call?
Roof Masters!
Roof Masters Roofing at Colby has been your premier roofing contractor for over 40 years, offering free estimates on all types of roofs, as well as seamless rain gutters and vinyl siding. So give us a call today. What's that number, Jake?
462-6642. I think you better call
Roof Masters!
Ross Volkmer,
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Max Gershon.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
This is the Morning Blitz.
I didn't know we'd get as much response as we did from that topic. I honestly didn't. It was
we
awesome. By the way, people chiming in. Michelle chimes in, FB Bank text line. Defense wins championships unless you can't make buckets.
True.
It goes back to my favorite saying from my so I used to play golf with this older gentleman down in Arizona with my grandpa. His name was Buster. Buster's still alive, by the way, but Buster would say, he'd always say, you got to play to your strengths. You know, if you hit a ball and you hit it in the rough, and he'd be like, well, you got to play to your strengths. If you hit the ball there, that's great. If you're a defensive basketball team, throw it out of bounds.
That's funny.
Play to your strengths. If you're a defensive basketball team, throw it out of bounds. So that was always
That's hilarious.
So
I like that.
I'd agree, Michelle. If your defense does win championships, but man, you got to make baskets.
Yeah.
Where's Coach Dahl? Why is he not chiming in saying, you got to make Ross, you got to make shots. You got to make shots. Doesn't matter how they are, you got to make shots. So
got to put the ball in the hoop.
Yep. You got to be able to do that. I mean, you need to stop it, but you got to be able to put the ball in the hoop at the same time. College basketball this weekend. By the way, last night, Colby Community College was down at Seward. Lady Trojans lost for the fourth time in the last five. They lost 59-47. Colby men, though, a nice win over Seward County, 57-46. A couple of very low-scoring games. Trojans have won 5 of their last 6. Jared Stanford's group really doing. Aren't you having him on the pregame show today?
Yep, he's on the pregame show today.
Have more on that.
We talked mostly about the big double overtime Pratt game, but
yeah. By the way, CCC is going to host Dodge City on Saturday. We still have those 2 tickets, folks. If you'd like to win those 2 tickets to go watch Colby Community College men take on Dodge City Saturday, just text the word Trojan to us, 785-899-2222. We'll give you those tickets. Be the first person to text the word Trojan to 785-899-2222. You can go watch Colby take on Dodge Saturday. Fort Hays Tech Northwest will also be at home Saturday. They're hosting Barton with some basketball. Saturday, college hoops. You got Kansas hosting Oklahoma State. That's on at 3 o'clock Central Time on Flyover Country 97.9. Colorado hosts Baylor Saturday as well. Sunday's Kansas State looking to bounce back. They host Arizona State. That's also a 3 Central Time tip on 100.3 The Ride and ESPN+. You feeling like KU gets a win at home against Okie State, or are you still feeling the down?
I hope so. Talk about a team that can't put the ball in the basket.
Kansas or Oklahoma State?
Yeah, they'd win. They'll win. And, you know, they're at home. They don't have the balls to win on the road. They only win at home. So, you know, what do you
speaking of baseball, real quickly, there are games scheduled for today for Colby Community College. So softball is scheduled to go to Lamar and then host Lamar on Sunday. I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't know. Maybe there's no snow in Lamar. And then Colby Community College baseball is scheduled to host Lamar on Sunday. I don't know if that's going to happen either with the way that the weather is.
I guess no.
So I'm going to guess no, but as far as as of last night, it was still on, as far as I knew. All right, what do you got for baseball?
I got to tell you, we've got a lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Lynch will be on the mound. He's fighting for a roster spot against the Rangers today, 2:05 p.m. Central Time. This one won't be televised. Kind of sad. The first one that will be televised is the 27th. But Jonathan India is leading off and playing left field right at the gates. They've already moved him to left field. Then you got Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, Hunter Renfroe, Massey, Nelson Velasquez, Kyle Isbell, Nick Lofton, and O'Keefe at catcher. Don't know maybe it's Logan O'Keefe, something, I don't know. O'Keefe, catcher. Salvy's not playing.
Come on, Max. You don't know who that guy is? You know everything about the Royals.
I don't know who that is. To be honest. I'm gonna guess Logan, but I think I'm wrong.
Anybody listen to the excitement that is in Max's tone of voice?
I'm so excited
off the lineup. I mean, good Lord.
I'm probably so wrong about his first name, by the way. Let me find this.
Well,
you can go to the walk-off, though.
Well, we'll just see. We'll see. But, yeah, Royals in action against the Rangers. It's game one.
Brian
O'Keefe. All right. Game one of flipping spring training. So let's stay calm.
Well, I'm pumped up.
I always believe, this has always been my belief. My always belief on this is that if you have a terrible spring training, like your record is bad, you're going to have a good regular season. Yes. If you have a great spring training record, it means you're going to have a crappy regular season. I totally believe that.
True.
So you want to suck in spring training when it comes to record. That's the truth. That is what you want.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Difference going on in New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
So I saw this, and we'll have to get into this when we get closer to the season, but I think it was MLB.com or somebody, or maybe it's The Athletic, that did a grade for every team's off season. You know, if you got an A, I think the Royals, got like a C+ or something like that. The Rockies got an F, and that's totally understandable. They didn't do anything in the offseason, but it was even funnier in a video I saw yesterday. Chris Bryant taking a BP pitch against a live BP pitch from pitcher gets plunked by his own man. The guy who cannot stay healthy to save his life, and Chris Bryant, gets plunked in his first non-action.
What a disaster he has been for the Rockies. I mean, it's rough. And then real quick, other news, Ross, you can officially play for the New York Yankees now.
This is nuts to me.
They did it.
This is nuts. The Yankees are going to allow well-groomed beards. Honestly, I'm a little sad by it.
Yeah?
I kind of liked that they were old school about this. I thought it was kind of cool and unique and different. I actually kind of liked it. You know, you could have the mustache, but you couldn't have the beard. You know what? I actually don't like this. I really actually don't.
It was a funny thing. It was going to happen eventually. People didn't know about it for so long, and now it's like such a public thing, and it's like, it had to change. But yeah,
no, I know.
Ross and the Yankees.
I don't know. Like I said, right. Right. I know. I don't like it. I like the old ways of it. All right, that'll do it for us. Once again, as far as we know, games are still on at this point in time, although no school in Colby and Goodland because of this snow squall. We're back again on Monday. Everyone have a great weekend, a safe weekend, and the temperatures will get warmer, so enjoy that. We'll see you on Monday here in the Blitz.